Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Prince Harry's privacy trial against Rupert Murdoch's tabloid, The Sun, took a dramatic turn after an 11th-hour offer to settle reportedly emerged. The Duke of Sussex and former MP Tom Watson have accused the tabloid of using illegal methods to obtain stories, including phone hacking. The trial was set to begin yesterday at 10:30 a.m. in London, but delays sparked rumours of behind-the-scenes negotiations. According to NPR media correspondent David Folkenflik, Murdoch's team made a massive offer to resolve the lawsuit. Legal teams requested additional time to explore an outcome, with Harry's lawyer David Sherborne citing the time difference with California as a factor, though not the primary reason for the delay. Judge Timothy Fancourt, expressing concern about further disruptions, granted limited extensions but warned that time was running out, stating, "There comes a point when the parties have had ample time to resolve their differences." Lawyers returned to court seeking to overturn the judge's decision and appealed for further delay until Wednesday morning, escalating tensions. This case holds personal significance for Prince Harry, who has long accused the tabloid press of unethical practices, blaming their intrusions for his mother, Princess Diana's death, and the collapse of his relationship with Chelsea Davy. In a previous witness statement, Harry called senior NGN executives criminals masquerading as journalists, accusing them of concealing evidence on an industrial scale. Harry may face a costly gamble in his legal battle against newsgroup newspapers if he decides to reject any potential settlement offer. Reports suggest that, as with actor Hugh Grant's similar case, Harry could be navigating a tricky legal landscape where settling out of court may be the most pragmatic option, even if it comes at the expense of a public admission of liability from NGN. Under English law, a clause known as Part 36 offer incentivizes claimants to consider settlement seriously. If Harry or his co-claimant Natalie Watson were to reject an offer from NGN and the court awards them damages that fall even a pound short of the offer, they could be liable for the legal costs on both sides. Given the potential for these costs to run into the millions, this creates significant financial risk even for high-profile claimants like Prince Harry. At the time of this recording, it remains unclear whether Prince Harry will pursue the case to trial or accept a settlement offer. If he insists on an admission of liability as part of any deal, it could complicate the process further. However, the financial stakes make this a pivotal moment for both sides as they weigh the cost of principle against the pragmatic realities of the courtroom. If a settlement is reached, we will update you with a bonus episode. Continuing our look at Vanity Fair's February cover story on Harry and Meghan, we pick up behind the scenes of the production of Meghan's podcast. Author Anna Peel shares. As time passed, it would be nearly 2 years between the couple's deal signing and the premiere of Archetypes. Spotify began applying pressure to produce something, anything that people might listen to. The former Spotify employee says Harry came to the LA office once and asked for a cup of cocoa. There was none in the office, so employees scrambled to obtain some. An idea was pitched to Harry. What if he reviewed a hot chocolate every week while chatting with a different friend? Which he and his team considered and rejected. Another concept was that Harry would fix something every week, ranging from a flat tire to global warming. He wanted to do a podcast about disabled people who compete in the Invictus Games, the former Spotify employee said, but there's no crossover between the audience who would listen to that and people who want to hear about Harry's life. A person who interviewed for a job with the couple says, "I just felt like he kind of didn't want to be there doing that at this time. My expectation was charming receiving line, and it was clear he wasn't that person, at least that day, and at least in the context of a hiring manager." A person who worked on an event during Harry's book tour says, "He has the greatest manners I've ever seen, hands down. Like, I can't believe his knees are as subtle as they are. He was getting up and down anytime somebody walked into a room. He was unfailingly kind and friendly to everyone." During the interview, the potential employee says, Harry's attitude was either, "Well, why should I do this?" or "Why are we doing this?" The interviewee says they wondered, "Didn't Spotify pay you a lot of money to do this?" The person inside the couple's circle says, "He looks like the kind of guy who would, frankly, happily work for charities for the rest of his life and would be very happy if Meghan made all the money and he didn't need to." Audio producer Jane Marie adds, "I can say that they had really great ideas for shows, interesting pitches, interesting guests, but them as the deliverers or either of them as the hosts of these more kind of edgy ideas would have been like, they would have had to move again. I think it's a combination of self-censorship for good reason and the corporate powers that be that run podcasting that don't know what it is to create valuable shows. In combination, those things make it really hard to make good stuff. We'll continue to take a look at the Vanity Fair cover story as the week progresses. In other news, Piers Morgan spoke to The Telegraph about Harry and Meghan's Fire tour. I'm afraid I'm very cynical. I think it's purely for self-promotional reasons. They have decamped to America and spent their entire time trashing their family. Somehow they've managed to keep their titles, which I think is ridiculous, given the damage they've caused to the institution that bestowed them upon them. Nothing they've tried since, which doesn't involve trashing their family, has worked, so now they're running around trying to behave like a rival royal family, and I find it pretty sickening, actually. I just think that King Charles, who doesn't talk to his son now, should remove their titles. You can go and do whatever you like as C-list celebrities. That's pretty much how they're viewed in America now. If you want to go and do this for personal, self-aggrandizing reasons, fine, but you're not doing it as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex anymore. Morgan also commented on Harry's court case. I think it's laughable hypocrisy. The biggest invader of royal privacy of modern times was Prince Harry with his book Spare. They tried to make it all about me, and in the end, they found one story in the whole time, which the judge concluded may or may not have come from illegal gathering during my tenure. A source told Heat magazine Meghan is hurt over the Fire tour criticism. The source said, for Meghan especially, it cuts extremely deep and touches a major nerve. This is her home city burning to the ground. She wants to help, and yet by doing that, she's still getting treated like garbage. Harry is telling her how proud he is, and the only way to handle it is to turn the other cheek and keep their side of the street clean. But, of course, it gets them down and hurts like hell for both of them. How could it not? So she didn't travel 90 miles. She traveled around 200 miles. They live 90 miles from Hollywood, and this was 90 to 100 miles past Hollywood. It confirms that they already knew to a big extent that they can't win no matter what they do or don't do. Their haters will always be out in force, finding any way possible to tear them down. The fact that they've been name-called and labelled as opportunistic attention seekers simply for trying to help the community and put time and energy into such a worthy cause truly beggars belief as far as they're concerned. Maybe we all have it wrong about Harry and Meghan. Sharon Stone told Marie Claire, you know, the thing about them that is so great is that they didn't come here to live off our community. They came here to be part of our community. My friend said she was sitting in her car and they bicycled across the street and waved at her while she was sitting at the red light. Prince William showed off his boxing skills during a visit to Centrepoint, Ealing on Tuesday as he slipped on a pair of gloves and threw a few punches. William is the patron of Centrepoint and a prominent advocate for addressing homelessness. Spent the day meeting young people supported by the charity. Centrepoint's Ealing service provides 17 beds for individuals aged 16 to 25 experiencing homelessness. Beyond just a place to stay, the facility offers wraparound support, including employment opportunities, access to education and counselling, all aimed at helping young people build independent futures. During his visit, the Royal joined in some of the sports activities available at the service, including a friendly round of boxing and table football. King Charles has sent a personal message of congratulations to Donald Trump. The King's private note acknowledged the enduring special relationship between the UK and the US, marking the occasion of Mr. Trump's return to the White House. Mr. Trump has expressed a fondness for the royal family over the years, claiming automatic chemistry with the late Queen Elizabeth II and describing King Charles as a wonderful guy. The Mirror observed how the Trump family appears to have drawn inspiration from the British royal family for their inauguration fashion choices, according to a fashion expert. Their polished ensembles, complete with tailored coats and statement hats, closely mirrored the royal playbook for formal occasions. First Lady Melania Trump turned heads in a tailored navy coat by Adam Lips, paired with a striking navy boater hat by Eric Javits, featuring a white band and a pair of Manolo Blahnik heels. Fashion expert Tamara Abraham, deputy fashion director for The Telegraph, noted that Melania's look bore striking similarities to styles often worn by the Princess of Wales and other royals. A tailored coat and elegant millinery are classic royal staples, seen frequently at events like Royal Ascot and Trooping the Colour. For example, Princess Kate wore a similar dark boater hat with white details during the 2022 service of Thanksgiving for the late Duke of Edinburgh. She paired it with a polka-dot high-neck dress, blending sophistication with subtle detailing. Likewise, Kate wore an emerald green ensemble with a matching Philip Treacy boater hat, out-trooping the colour in 2023. Ivanka Trump's inauguration outfit also nodded to royal fashion. She wore a dark forest green ensemble with a draped coat and teardrop-shaped hat, reminiscent of a look Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, wore to the 2020 Commonwealth Day service. Fashion expert Abraham explained the strategic choice, saying, "For a ceremonial event such as this, the British Royal Style playbook is a reliable one from which to borrow. Royals are experienced in dressing tactfully for formal occasions, using block colours and sharp silhouettes to stand out while maintaining timeless elegance." And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice. And don't forget, you can get this show along with hundreds of others commercial-free from Calaroga Shark Media. All the details are in the show notes. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.